from.
Get the real facts. Listen to the real interviews. Share your real thoughts with Andre Donald on Real Expressions, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., Monday to Friday. It's all about Real Expressions.
Stubbornness, not.
They're just ignorant.
What is a scorpion dirt on your body?
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, it's gonna sting you.
There was this story with the scorpion wanted to go across a river, and he asked the frog to take me across. So the frog said, "Okay, let's go." Jump on the frog take him. Just as he to reach the other side, he stung the frog. The frog said, "Oh God, scorpion, why did you do me that?" You see, I can't help it. This is my nature. I had to stung.
Yeah, you had to sting. Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
You see, I'm sorry.
But you had to do it.
I had to do it.
Good gosh. Anyway.
Read the weather?
Yeah, we got the weather coming up for you, friends, in a couple of takes. And then after the weather, we'll be standing by to join our friend in Jamaica. And then we go from 7:30 until 8 o'clock with our friend in Jamaica. And then from 8 o'clock until about 8:45, we'll go with our friend from the Ministry of Agriculture. Stay with us.
Oh yes, the number one. It's the number one. Why you disown agriculture? I'm talking to the youths of this nation and those wicked politicians. Like they want to structure the plan. Well, from the revolution, agriculture was on top.
As indicated, we've made that link with the friends at the Met Office this morning. It is Jerry Tamer. Good morning to you, Jerry. How are you doing?
Hey, Andrew, good morning to you. How are you this morning?
I'm all right, yeah. Sunshine, yeah, but a bit of dark cloud. Yeah, it's not necessarily hazy. No, not hazy, I would say, but it's just overcast, but not overcast in a threatening way, kind of. Make sense? It's overcast.
Really,
it's overcast. We have dark clouds.
I wouldn't give you a feeling grade for that.
Not shy, Jerry. You crazy.
Well, good morning also to all your listeners. Well, present conditions down here at Point Saints, and for most parts of Grenada, conditions are fair. Winds of east-northeasterly at 12 miles an hour. Barometric pressure is now 15.2 millibars. No, that's above normal and still rising. Current temperature 27.2 degrees Celsius. That's the same as 80.9 degrees Fahrenheit. Relative humidity 81%. Yesterday, maximum temperature recorded was 30.9 Celsius or 87.6 Fahrenheit. The minimum was 25.9 Celsius, and that's the same as 79.4 Fahrenheit. We had only a trace of rainfall down here at Point Saint for the last 24 hours, which means the total for the month remained at 155 millimeters. Let's now look at the public forecast, and this is valid for today and tonight for Grenada, Carriacou, and the Petite Martinique. We can expect conditions to be partly cloudy, but becoming cloudy with light to moderate afternoon to evening time showers, and with a possible isolated thunder shower. Winds east-northeasterly to east-southeasterly at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Seas moderate with 4 to 6 feet in open waters. Tides are currently falling. We'll have low tide at 12:25 this afternoon, and we'll have high tide this evening at 8:49. Maximum temperature today should get up to around 30 degrees Celsius, which is about 86 Fahrenheit. We'll have sunset this evening at 6:37. Sunrise tomorrow will be at 5:51. So just to repeat the public forecast, remember it is valid for today and tonight for Grenada, Carriacou, and the Petite Martinique. Conditions are expected to be partly cloudy, but becoming cloudy with light to moderate afternoon to evening time showers and a possible isolated thunder shower. So, Andre, that's all for me. Back to you.
But I ain't really want to take it back in because I you wouldn't give me a feeling great day. I ain't really, but don't worry, I'll deal with you another morning, yeah?
Didn't give you a passport, but he didn't want to give you a feeling great.
No, he didn't want to pass me at all. That's all. But that's all right. Don't worry. I'll deal with him another morning. The sun is bursting. It's on in all its glory now. The dark clouds have gone.
I could see clearly now.
I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. I'm going to ask you a question. And I know what the answer is going to be. So I'm going to have a laugh when you give or do not give the answer. Which station affords you the best link up for weather in the morning?
Well, you see, it's difficult to see. They all have their own different personality.
I thought I laughed too because I know he want to give you a feel. He doesn't feel you. I know that. I laugh because I know he didn't want to give you a feel.
Jerry, let's do me a favor. Don't say anything more, yeah? Do not incriminate yourself, my brother. Jerry, have a wonderful day, man. Okay, take care, great. It's 91. This is how real we can get, you know.
How real we can get.
Yeah,
I want to get real with the planting date because I don't want to get left out.
You better do it quickly.
No,
because how long do you have?
No,
just do it quickly because seconds. we have to set.
Yeah, above the ground for July is the 18th and the 19th, and below the 15th and the 16th, which is today and tomorrow. Okay. So all ground.
Under the ground?
Underground 15th and 16th.
Today and tomorrow?
Today and tomorrow, and above the ground 18th and 19th.
Do you know where I can get some beet?
Beet? No. I'm not sure. I'd want to try probably the one of the place in Rose Hill, maybe.
Carrots?
Carrots, you don't buy carrots.
That's plant, right?
Plant direct into soil.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Good. We've got to get ready for the lovely lady, as JD said, out of Jamaica. Stay with us, friends. This is Real FM Radio.
Check the plan. Well, family.
Ozone really gets it clean. Get with the Ozone family line of products. Ozone liquid laundry detergent. Perfect for your semi or fully automatic washing machines. Yet suitable for your hand wash. Soft on your hands. Ozone disinfectant cleaner. It's the most powerful disinfectant and cleaner with a long-lasting fresh scent. Tackles every job around the house or office. Ozone detergent powder and ultra soft fabric softener gets your clothes clean with a natural freshness. Keeps your colors bright. Choose from the wonderful scents Soft Flower, Ocean Breeze, and the new Aloe Vera. Keep your kitchen sparkling clean with the Ozone dishwashing liquid, Ozone sponges and cleaning cloth. Ozone toilet bowl cleaner removes lime scale and kills germs while giving your toilet a refreshing scent. Ozone really gets it clean. Marketed and distributed by Calico, Frequente St. George's, and are available at shops and supermarkets nationwide.
Who wants to save 30%? Everybody! Now more than ever, Flow understands the need to make your dollar stretch. Our new bundles can help you save 30% off your current bill. Plus, get a free speed upgrade on your in-home internet. Simply add your mobile to your current home services account and save 30%. It's easy. Sign up now and save. All on the most reliable fixed and mobile network on island. Visit a Flow store or call us at 1-800-804-2994 for more information. Flow, it only gets better. Terms and conditions apply.
Let's go. Let's show that we belong. Show the world that we belong.
Grenada on the road to Gold Cup 2021. Stay in the know by following us on all our social media platforms. Grenada Football Association on Facebook, GFA Grenada on Twitter, and at Grenada FA on Instagram. Matches begin 13th July and continue on July 17th and 20th. We belong.
Greens Concept introduces the latest innovation in air conditioning technology in Grenada, providing the most energy efficient, environmentally friendly air conditioning units in Grenada. Using a natural refrigerant, all air conditioning unit systems are up to 40% more energy efficient than the current units used in the Grenadian market. Powerful cooling while using less electricity and very inexpensive. That means more money in your pocket. We offer free delivery to all locations of installation and installed by top quality trained professional engineers with over 20 years experience in the business. Contact Greens Concept 417-5460 or 442-1663. Email greensconcept@gmail.com. At Greens Concept, we cool you and the planet.
Greens Concepts announces special prices on 18,000 and 24,000 BTU units. You have been saving on power, now save on prices. Call us today.
Hey, I am Corporal 85 Grant, attached to CRD Eastern Division, reminding you that incest and all other sexual violence is a crime.
Me say no make them take advantage of you.
Spot On, a new program with new perspectives every Tuesday and Thursday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on the Realest of the Real, Real 91.9 and 91.5 FM. Real talk, real people, real issues in real time. With your host, Sheldon Scott.
Yes, agriculture is the number one. That's the number one.
Good morning, listeners. This morning, out of the 3B's country, we have Miss Katisha Allen, a young female Apris out of Jamaica. You might say, ask me why I say the 3B's country. I'm talking about Bob Marley, Usain Bolt, and Beanie Man. Good morning, Miss Allen.
Good morning. How are you?
Wonderful. And you?
I am doing well, thanks.
That's great. Thank you for accepting to be on the program this morning. And
thank you for having me.
Okay. Who is Katisha Allen?
So, well, Katisha Allen is a young entrepreneur from the country of Jamaica, St. Elizabeth. I am an apiculturist, so what I do, I rear bees and I sell other products from the bees.
What led you into beekeeping?
All right, so I am a nature person. I enjoy nature, so many things that have to do with nature, I am for it. And then I'm so fascinated by the bees. Just growing up, I always wonder, how does the bees make honey? How is that honey harvested? How can you take away the bees' food? So then I know somebody that does it. And then on one occasion, I went to the apiary with that person. Didn't know anything about it, but I just went. And from there, I grew that extra love, and then I get started.
Okay, you said wonderful that you are very sensitive to nature. And not only the nature, but can I add in the environment and the weather? Add to that, to your nature loving for the bees?
Yes, you can say that.
Okay. What is your David? And when I say David into this business, I'm talking about your desire, your aspiration, your vision, your inspiration, ideas, and dreams into that business.
All right. So for me, I always set the standard high. So going into the business, I always set short-term goals and long-term goals. So every year, it is my goal to multiply on what I have. So I always want to double. So going into the business, I set long-term goals. So within 5 years, I want to have over 500 hive of bees.
But how far you
And
are?
then I
Sorry.
also,
Go ahead.
pardon me?
Go ahead. Sorry.
And then some of my short-term goals that I set, as I said, I want to double every year. And then I set targets to the amount of honey that I want to reap per year.
So you said you want to do like 500 hives, and how far you are from that now?
I am almost at 200, so I will definitely surpass that before the 5 years.
Okay. How did you acquire the knowledge of beekeeping? Was it from someone?
Can you repeat? I didn't get that.
How did you acquire your knowledge in beekeeping?
All right, so one day I was at my home because I only had one apiary. So one day I was at my home and this young lady, she came to me and said, Katisha, I heard there will be a training at the RADA office. That's the Rural Agriculture Office.
Right, yeah.
And she said, let's go to that training. So I said, okay, no problem. So I just get myself organized and then I go there. That's where I meet the bees officer. And then he discussed topics about bees. And that's when now that I am learning about it, my interest even grow more for it. So I asked a lot of questions. I took his contact number. I would call him every minute just to get that information, how to care for the bees properly. And from then on, I've been in contact with him. I learned a lot. I go to every training there is. So I'd leave from one parish to another parish just to learn more.
That's great, because knowledge is power, and the more knowledge you have, it's better for you.
Exactly. And then when you gain that knowledge, you keep on learning new things.
Yeah.
And then with that knowledge, you can also experiment on your own to see what works best for you.
Were you afraid of bees when you first started out as a beekeeper?
Pardon me?
Were you afraid of bees when you first started out as a beekeeper?
Yes, I was very scared. But when you love something and you have that passion and that determined, and then when you know what you want to achieve, you use that passion and that drive to kill fear.
Right.
So going into this field, I was so afraid because I remember when I was coming home from school, there was this apiary close to the road. And then when we were coming home from school, especially when they were harvesting honey, the bees would sting us up. So normally we'd have to run when we reach at that spot. So me getting those things from those days, going into it, I know I would get a lot of things. But I was prepared mentally to take those things because I knew that I wanted to achieve something from it.
So I guess now you have overcome your fears?
Can you say that again?
Have you overcome your fears now?
Oh yes, I've overcome that fear maybe a year ago.
Okay.
Let me tell you one experience. I was setting up a new apiary last year. So I transported the bees about half-hour drive, and it was really hot. So the bees got so angry and all of that. So when I was actually releasing the bees, because when you're transporting bees, you have to cover them properly.
Right.
So when I was actually releasing those bees, I had on my protective gear, but however, I was wearing jeans pants, which was a little tight. So it's like more than half of the bees in the hive just swarm out and they start to sting me all over. And I ran and I drop on the ground and I roll and they just attack me. Trust me, I got over 50 things sting in that day. And from then on, normally when I used to get bees sting, I used to be swollen. But from that day, getting that number of sting, no more swollen, no more. It's like when I got this sting now, it's like nothing.
Okay. Are you familiar with the phrase "as busy as a bee"?
Yes, and a lot of persons say that to me because I'm always busy. I'm on the go, so they always say you're busier than your bees.
But out of that question, does bees rest or sleep at all?
If they do that,
Rest or sleep?
I don't think they rest or sleep because they're always working. So when we're sleeping, they are working. I don't think they get any rest. I doubt that. They're always busy.
Busy as a bee.
Right.
Which part of the beehive has the most activity?
Can you repeat?
Which part of the beehive have the most activity? Yeah.
Right. So the beehive set up of different section. So the brood chamber. So the brood chamber, that's where the queen lives, or that's where the queen does most of her laying, keep the hive populated. That there are always activity going on there because in the bee's hive there are a number of bees with different roles. So that hive has to keep clean. So you have the housekeepers. Whenever dead bees or debris get into that hive, you have the undertakers that get rid of those dead bees, those debris, so they'd push them out. So the brood chamber would have the most activity going on down there.
Tell us about the queen and her mating and her mating stage.
All right, so the queen, as you know, she's the lady of the hive, just like how you have a wife in the house.
Right.
So the queen, when she's in the hive, things are very organized. So what the queen does, let me tell you so especially when you do a split. So you do a split to make a new queen. So what you do, you'd use day-old eggs to make that new queen. That queen is emerged between 14 to 16 days. 5 days after that, that queen should be fully mated. What that queen does, she would leave the hive and she'd go approximately 300 feet in the air and she would mate with 14 different drones. And she only mates once in her lifetime. So she mate with that 14 different drones, she come back to the hive, and that time of mating, she stores all of those sperms, and that serves her throughout her entire lifetime. So the queen can live up to 5 years, but it is best to get rid of the queen 2.5, 3 years to get that maximum population. Because, for mating once in your lifetime, after certain years, the amount of eggs she can produce gets depleted. So she lays small amount per day, and you want a well-populated hive. And then talking about the queen only eats one food, and that food is called royal jelly. So what the other bees does, they would feed her on royal jelly.
How many eggs does the queen lay in one day?
Well, a good mated queen can lay up to 1,500 to 3,000 eggs per day.
How does she control over the egg? No, how does she control the egg she lays between male and female? Does she have any control over that between the male and the female eggs?
Oh yes, she does, because especially in the dirt period, that's the drought period when you don't have a lot of blossoms out there, she tends to not lay a lot of drones, because the drones are the male bees, and the main purpose of the male bees is to just mate with the queen. So in that period of time, she wouldn't lay a lot of drone bees, because then you don't want to have a lot of drones to consume the food or the little food that is in the hive. So during the dirt period, you you wouldn't see the queen laying a lot of drone egg, because if you compare the cells of the drone bees and the worker bees, the drone cell is much larger. So she does control when she lays in the drone cell from when she do not lay in the drone cell. Because in the dirt, basically, if they don't in the hive, what the worker does, they would start killing the drones and push them out, because the drones would only be there eating out the food at that time period.
In a colony of bees, how many bees do you find in a colony of bees?
Well, a lot of bees, approximately 40,000 bees or more, can be in a colony. A strong, healthy colony have over 40,000 bees. Because you know the bees, especially for the worker bees, they don't live very long. They live for 3 weeks up to a month approximately. So that's why the queen has to be producing or populating the hive daily, because from time to time those bees definitely die.
Do bees recognize the hives?
Pardon me?
Do bees recognize the hives?
Oh yes, they do, because remember when they go out foraging, they have this antenna. They have an antenna that picks up their hive. So if they go 2 miles, when they come back, they definitely go back into their hive. They also work with pheromones, so they do with scent, so they can scent their hives and all of that. So when the bees go out foraging, you will see she comes right back to her hive.
And do they recognize the beekeeper?
I don't think so. I definitely don't think so.
And do bees from the same hives have different temperaments? Do you find aggressive bees and gentler bees in the same hive, the same hive?
Yes. Well, the strain of the bees does matter. So you have some hives that are very aggressive. You have a mixture, some that are calm, some that are aggressive. So the hive that I was telling you about, that swarm out that day and give me those stongs, that hive is very, very aggressive. But the more aggressive the bees are, the better for the beekeeper, because when the bees is very aggressive, you get more honey. So the more aggressive the bees, the more production, the more work they do. So they get more honey, because for that particular hive, I got the most honey from that hive. So the more aggressive, the better.
And talking about production, what's the length of time for harvesting?
All right, so in Jamaica, you can harvest from January to about April. Some places May, June, July. So it depends on where. So more easterly, you have a longer harvesting. The harvesting period there is longer. So, but for my area, I normally harvest from January to April.
And what happens on a harvesting day?
All right, so on a harvesting day, what I'll do, you'd go out very early. You'll set up all your necessary things. You'll have your extractor, you have your tent, because what we do, we use canopies. So when we take the honey from the hive, you'd put them in that tent and secure it that the bees cannot go back in there, because what the bees will do, they will fight for their honey. So they will swarm that honey and they'll eat it back out. So you arrange your tent, extractors and all of that. You'd remove the honey from the hive, take it to the tent, extract it under the tent, and then you put back the frames into the hive.
Then what happens after you have done your harvesting? What's the next procedure you do?
So after harvesting, after a day of harvesting, you just take your honey home and you can bottle that. Okay. After a day after, so you can bottle that, because, well, honey is natural, so you don't have to add anything to it. No preservative, no additive. It's 100% natural. So after harvesting, you can just bottle or sell, or if you sell by the bulk, you can sell it in the bucket or whatever means. So there's nothing needed to be done to the honey. after harvesting because it's just natural.
Right. So now you have your honey. What is your marketing situation? You get a fair share of the market, and who are your purchasers?
Well, there's a lot of beekeepers in Jamaica now, but honey, there's a great demand for honey because, as you know, honey is natural, so there's a great demand for it. So once you get yourself out there, you can sell honey. So for me personally, I try to get my honey in every parish. So for now, I have 5 different locations across the country where I sell my honey to. So I sell retail and I sell wholesale. So I sell by the bucket and I also do bottling and sell. I also ship overseas and sell my honey because the more you market yourself, the better for you as a beekeeper.
Great. Can you tell us what's the benefits of honey?
Sure. So honey have a lot of benefit. As you say, it's natural. It is from the plants. So you get those nectars and they turn it into honey. So one of the great benefits of honey is that honey is very good for persons with diabetes. So diabetic patients, they can consume honey. So instead of using sugar, they would substitute that sugar for honey since it is a natural source of sugar. Other benefits of honey is honey heal wounds. So if you have a small wound that doesn't require you to go to the doctor, yes, you can just rub some honey on it. And what that honey will do, it will heal that wound. So it will pull out whatever impurities is in that womb or any fungal properties in that womb. So it acts as an antibacterial agent. It also helps with digestive issues. So for me personally, when I just eat and I want to sleep, I just get a teaspoon of honey and use that up. Honey is also good for sore throat. So when you have a sore throat, once you consume that honey, it gradually gets that sore throat away.
What are your strengths, your weakness, and opportunities and threats in that business you're doing? Your strength, your weakness, opportunities and threats, are there any?
All right. So for me personally, I'm very hardworking. I am self-employed. I am an entrepreneur. So I always go out there taking care of my bees. I love my bees very much. So on a board day, I would just go into the apiary and just sit and examine the bees. So that's my strength. I spend time with my bees. I ensure my bees are well taken care of. So if you go to my apiary, it's always clean and it's always in good condition because whatever you put out into the bees, that's what you will gain. And then my weakness is me going at the box too often. So sometimes when you're going there too often, when you're so in love with them, sometimes you might get your queen damaged. So that's one of my weaknesses that I am working on. I am trying my best to stay out of the hives so often. And then the challenges that I have as a young beekeeper, been in the business for about 2 years now, it is very hard to get yourself marketable. So what I have to do, I have to put myself out there to gain that customer base. I have to build a customer base from scratch, especially when you're young and as a female, it is very hard because a lot of persons don't know about you. So you have to put yourself out there to market your thing so that you can gain those customers. As it relates to the, competition is not a big deal. As I said, once your product is good, once you market yourself, you can get out there and you can achieve. So the good thing is I have been exposed on many different platforms in Jamaica. So I've been on television twice, I've been exposed, I've been on radio station, I've been exposed to a lot of persons that really supports me. So that exposure helps me a lot to actually put myself out there so I can be a cut above the rest.
Wonderful. Is your job rewarding, and what is the most fulfilling part of it?
Yes, it is rewarding because you harvest your honey, you still have the bees. There are different products and byproducts from the bees. So you have your honey, you can do wax production, you can do pollen, so you can catch your pollen and all of that. So the reward is great since it is a fast, it quickly multiplies. So once you have one hive of bees, you can turn that into 2 and 3 hive. This depends on the amount of frames you have. So it is very rewarding, and the profits are great. The returns are great.
Do you do royal jelly?
Pardon me?
Do you harvest royal jelly?
No, I don't have royal jelly, but it is something that I am thinking about, because when I do my research on royal jelly, if the queen, the other bees live for 3 weeks to a month, and the queen that is only fed on royal jelly lives for up to 5 years. I am thinking if humans can consume royal jelly, that means maybe their lifespan could be longer. So it's a business that I'm thinking to go into.
It is said,
and I think it will be.
It is said the Queen of England uses royal jelly. So you see how she keeps. She's the oldest sovereign queen ever in England. It is said that she used royal jelly.
Right. So if
just go ahead. It is said to pick a rose, you must get pricked by the thorn, and to extract sweet honey, you must be stung by the bees, which you have been stung. In closing, what advice can you give to young people, especially females?
All right. So my advice is, if you love what you do, you should do what you love. So love what you do what you love. Going into beekeeping, it's an excellent venture. So when you go into beekeeping, I'm sure you will not regret it. The returns are great. And once you have that passion, it will seem you are not working. And it is easily multiply. You can easily multiply. As I said, it's fast growing. So once you want to go into it, get into it.
Great. So Ms. Aline, I thank you very much for appearing on this show this morning. And I do wish you success. And I do believe with your mode of operation and your determination, you will conquer all the Goliaths in the honey business. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
What are you looking at me for?
I'm looking at you.
I hear in the background. Did you hear in the background?
A cock?
No, that cock. I think it's Jara Rastafari. So Rasta cock then. It's Jara Rastafari here.
I thought you wasn't listening.
No. You see, you must never think I'm not this. I may be doing other things, but I'm paying attention to you. I know you didn't need any help.
I know.
So I'm paying attention to you, but I have other things I need.
Why you feel I didn't need help?
Huh?
Why you feel I didn't need help?
Well, one of the things that you always do, ever since you had your first interviews, that you came with your questions. And that's 3/4 of the job done. The other quarter is you split that quarter into 2 halves, which has to do with you making that connection with the person and you being able to get the person to speak. That's the other quarter. And the other half of that quarter is just me making sure that the equipment working. Okay. Once the equipment working, you good. But the fact that you would come with your questions, that's it.
Okay.
You know, you can pace yourself. You know what questions you want to ask, and if a question pops up in between, then you ask it, and then you go back to your thing. But you did well. As a matter of fact, let me show you this. See, you think I don't pay attention? You think I don't do? Can you read it? Read it aloud, and read it loud so that people can hear. Hold on. Read it loud so that people can hear.
Which one?
Just read, because they're all the same. They're all the same. Read here.
Also show some love to JD. He's the one who's solely responsible for this discussion coming out of Jamaica. I believe he does a fine job. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
So you see, I'm all about. I'm giving you praise. See. And you think I'm not bothering, you think I'm not listening because you see me walking about and
no,
doing
I know
whatever.
you. I know the master of Charlotte.
No, I'm not the master. I'm not the master.
Of the temple. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful
the master.
When you step in.
JD, Bath Atlanta says, nice job.
Thank you.
Yes, you see.
So out of 10? Out of score? Out of 10?
Nah,
no score. No praise.
I will score you like George Lamoth. If you ask a question like that, George Lamoth, as in George Lamoth.
Yeah, my cousin.
Yeah, your cousin?
Yeah.
George Lamoth one day graded a paper for me. It was science. And I was like, I'm going to get 100. I know I had to get 100. I didn't get it. And I went to him. He looked at me in that way of his.
Andre.
And Andre.
I know.
Andre, you really think that you can
soft-spoken.
You can get 100 in my exam? Nobody gets 100 in my exam, Andre. Who do you think is a teacher? You or me? I just forget that, you know. Excuse me. I just forget that one time. I'm like, yo, you know what? Let me not.
Don't go.
Was he here? Did he come for for his brother's funeral? He didn't.
Yeah, I think he was here after that too. Did he came after? Yeah, he
came after. Where, and up here?
Yeah, he was up here.
At the house?
Mm-hmm. At the house.
Oh my God, I didn't see George.
He wanted to come back, but it's COVID, you know. And well, he went on out there. I think he studied pharmacist.
Oh, he's a pharmacist.
Yeah, but he's retired now, so he was qualified.
Carl and saying nice interview. See, the people giving you the props.
You see,
let's see what. I ain't seen
no, I'm trying to explain to you. I'm spending time now to devote my time to where I want to go, the next level.
Where you want to go?
The next level, and what I want to do.
What you want to do?
Well, whichever, you know, not just talking farming, but having, you know, getting. As I said, I'm looking at Jamaica, Trinidad now. You
want to go and live in Jamaica?
You never know. I might get a call come up.
Grey locks go look good at you. The grey locks.
Talking about time.
Yeah, we're gonna take a commercial break. Let's not unless it's gonna be short. You're gonna say something? Is it gonna be short? What is it?
There's a 5-year-old guy in South Africa. Yeah, Sudan to be exact. He knows mostly all the countries' anthem.
In the world?
In Africa.
Oh.
He could really sing them. What was more impressive of him? He sang the Jamaican anthem.
That's not impressive.
Well, 5-year-old.
No. Impressive would have been singing Hail Grenada. Fire for that guy.
Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Neil Strite, an international social skill consultant, and I'm here to let the public know that every child has a right to say no to sexual violence.
And me say no make them take advantage of you.
When you think of Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, what comes to mind? A reliable financial institution that has stood the test of time. Maybe you think about the convenience and quality financial service they provide. Do you think about their readiness to help you retire, achieve your academic goals, build your dream home, buy the piece of land, or the elegant car?
or maybe the convenience of their different locations, Jubilee Street in Grenville or the new outlet on Lucas Street in St. George's in the Derek Sylvester building. Maybe you always consider how they're always a phone call away. 442-8602 or 438-4228. They're also online, www.grenvillecreditunion.com. No matter what comes to mind, remember, Grenville Cooperative Credit Union is the best place to save and to borrow, working with you to make your brighter tomorrow.
There comes a time in every household when a loved one passes on, and we all need the support and guidance of a trusted friend. Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home has been your dedicated friend. And now, for your convenience and added financial ease, we introduce specially designed complete funeral packages from as low as $5,500. Same professional quality services, but now greater choices at the lowest possible prices. As you prepare to enter your loved one into eternal rest, visit Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home and select a package that brings added comfort to the entire family. Conditions apply. Serving you from locations in St. George's, Grenville, and Carriacou. Call us at 440-2302 any time of day. Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home, continuing a tradition of excellence.
M&M Hardware Limited, Hope St. Andrew and Dusty Highway, St. George. Shop conveniently for all your building materials, including plumbing, electrical, lumber, cement, steel, and much more. We manufacture roofing sheets available in 11 colors, aluminum windows, doors, insect screens, and hurricane shutters. Installation services are available for all our manufactured products. Our opening hours are Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. M&M Hardware Limited. Come on in and experience our affordable prices, or call us 444-6757 or 440-6757 Dusty Highway. Email us at info@mahonhardware.com or mnmdusty@mahonhardware.com. M&M Hardware, foundation to roof. Let's build together.
The first word when you speak about furniture is classic. Yes, at Classic Furniture, they design and make the best in local furniture. All their products are made from the finest local wood available on island. You think it, they design it and make it to your expectations. The highest standards at the best possible price, and they also provide higher purchase for you, their valued customers. Located on Ben Jones Street in Grenville, with their factory at Chantemelle in St. Patrick. That's where you need to visit when looking for products made of the finest local wood. They deliver and install items at no extra cost. Your satisfaction is their mission. The extra step is taken to ensure their customers are completely satisfied. They do doors and finished kitchens, supplies mattresses, and restores antique pieces to look like the first day they were made. Hey, give us a call on 442-4645 and 442-9726. Classic Furniture, Grenada's homegrown furniture producers.
Spot On, a new program with new perspectives every Tuesday and Thursday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on the Realest of the Real, Real 91.9 and 91.5 FM. Real talk, real people, real issues in real time. With your host, Sheldon Scott.
Now more than ever, Flow is working hard to keep you connected to the things that matter most. Your family, your work, and your favorite entertainment. We are also providing Flow Study free of charge so students can stay connected and up to date with their schoolwork. And because your safety is our highest priority, you can manage your account from the safety of your own home through the MyFlow app. We are here for you, keeping you connected.
Get high making money moves with the NLA's new Aces High Scratch game with 4 chances to win. Beat the dealer's card to win the prize shown. Reveal an A symbol. And just like that, you are automatically a winner. Scratch away to win the top prize of $10,000. Win easy with Scratch. Must be 18 or older to play.
A message from Grenlick. To maximize energy efficiency,
Pay attention to how you use energy and track your energy costs. Take the time to read and understand your bill.
Grenlec, energizing our Grenada. Call us at 237 or visit grenlec.com.
Yes, agriculture is the number one. Number one, yes, the number one. Oh yes, the number one. It's the number one. Why you disown agriculture? I'm talking to the youths of this nation.
It is real. It's 91.9, 91.5, www.drealfmgrenada.com. Good morning, Grenada. Good morning, Caribbean. Good morning to the rest of the world. Again, let me publicly thank you, JD, for the first part of our program this morning. I really do believe that it went down really, really well. I enjoyed the interview and love listening and looking at Miss Allen.
How she looks.
What's that?
How she looks.
How does she look?
Yeah.
Like a good, attractive looking Caribbean woman.
Okay.
Remember, she's from the Caribbean.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. So therefore, I stand right at her side, shouting for her and all the other beautiful Caribbean women, which means all Caribbean women. They're all beautiful.
Surely.
Yeah. I find you kind of hesitating to say that. You don't believe that they're beautiful?
They are.
How do you know they are?
But of all the women in the Caribbean, which one you admire most?
The black ones.
Black ones? Which country? Any particular country?
Say again?
Any particular country?
The Caribbean, Africa.
Well, from the Caribbean, or which
Africa.
other country? Africa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The black ones. They're all from Africa. There's no separation in my women in the Caribbean. They're all from Africa.
Yeah, they are.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you ask me which, they're Africans.
You know, talking about that.
No, I don't know. What? I'm listening.
I like them Trinis, boy.
Go ahead. I'm listening to you.
I'm
still listening. I'm still listening to you, bro.
Yeah, I
if you're prepared to differentiate, if you're prepared to do so and, says Trin you like, I am saying to you, I love my African sisters.
Okay, I just want to be specific.
Well, I am being very specific. I didn't say Caucasian.
Okay.
Neither did I say Indian. Neither did I say Chinese. Do you understand? I said African.
Africans, yeah.
Because I'm African.
African.
Yeah. They have, listen, they have your head going around like this,
Oh.
The Caucasians.
Okay.
Because they told you that you're living in the West Indies. You understand? We're not the Indies, not by any chance. This is the biggest misconception in the world, and the world keeps on going with that. So much so we have the West Indies cricket team. Give me a break. Time to change that.
To
Caribbean.
Caribbean, yeah.
Or call us African. But don't call me West Indian. Oh my God.
West India.
West and oh.
No,
call me black.
It is said that
what?
Africa, the slaves were paid to go from Africa and to labor to where they were sent. But now Africans are paying the passage to go out and labor in other people's country, when there's a lot of opportunities in Africa. They say every flight that comes in, every BA flight that goes to Africa, half of the people are going to look for opportunities in Africa.
That's a different discussion for a different day. Good morning.
Good morning to you, gentlemen.
Mr. Bridgman.
Yeah.
How are you doing this morning, Mr. Bridgman? I'd like you to understand that even the people who are listening and they can send messages, they send messages and say, Mr. Bridgman is low, we can't hear him. And I know you're at that level. And I know it has to do with your phone.
Okay, I think I'm speaking loud enough now. Are you hearing me?
I am hearing you. I will hear you. I have on headphones.
Okay, well, I think the rest of the people could hear me now. I think I like the ladies' discussion with you all there. I think I've learned a lot from bees. Although I'm afraid of bees, so I don't really go close to bees. But in what you're saying about West Indian, I support you all totally. I mean, they teach us wrong, eh? They really taught us wrong. But West Indian and whatnot, you know, colonialism and this kind of thing. A lot of things that they teach us was wrong. And I don't know who to fix it. I don't know if you had listened to the Senate yesterday.
Not all of it.
Okay. But some brilliant statements was made, and the Senator for Agriculture had some, you call it, is it resolution or bill, or when you, what is it? Well, is it resolution they call it, or something? Okay. He asked the government to look into fishery, to set up a fishery school. He asked that the farm watch personnel be better treated and whatnot, and more farm watch personnel should be employed and whatnot. A lot of nice thoughts. My thing is that when those things happen, they sort of get stick. You know, he said that he had meetings with the Minister of Agriculture, cordial good meetings and whatnot. These things get stick. We're not hearing, we're not seeing, we're not seeing committees set up, we're not knowing where they go from there. And I think that is one of the big problems. There are a lot of action to be taken, marketing and this and everything just remain dormant after, you know, so much discussion. No special committees are formed, no follow-up. I'm somewhat worried over those things because I think we really have to put actions into place and not just talk programs. We want to see more actions. We want to see more committees formed. We want to see more people hold responsibilities and not just talk. We really need to wake up on those eras. And I hope that while I welcome all what he said, makes sense, the government prove that they are in the process, because most of what he spoke about, the person representing the head of the government and person in the Senate, Mr. Steele, was able to show that that they have drafting and that, and they have plans and that and whatnot. But to me, those plans and them remain one place are too stagnant, and it's time I would like to see actions on most of those deliberations. I really hope so.
All right, Cliff, gotta go have Mr. Troy, what's his last name?
Augustine.
I forget. Augustine, I think it is. We're going to be talking a bit. You would like to hear that, Cliff, because we'll be speaking about composting. Okay. So yourself and other farmers would like to hear. Maybe you might learn something.
Over here anyway, because I reached it up the road.
All right, then. Take care of yourself.
What's about this thing for me? Did you send it?
No, I didn't send it yesterday. I will send it today. I had to rush out of the office to deal with something, so I will make sure I give the gentleman as soon as he comes in this morning. Okay. Because so but you could check him today for it, definitely.
I may pass around by his place too.
Yeah, you can check him today for it. Good. All right, good.
What's his name again, you say?
Do Go.
Do Go.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Okay. Great. It's real. It's 91.9, 91.5, www.drealfmgrenada.com. The time has now moved on to 20 minutes, and that is after the 8 o'clock hour. I did say that we were going to have Mr. Troy Augustine. Is it? Augustine. Troy Augustine from the Ministry for Agriculture. And Troy will be speaking to us this morning on composting. Good morning, Troy.
Good morning, Andrew.
How you doing, man?
Quiet.
Quiet. Well, that's good to hear. Not very often you hear people are very quiet. It's good to hear. It's good to know that you're quiet. So, how's the family?
Everybody's doing well.
Okay. And how is the ministry family doing?
I think you should be at work. I'm on a kind of some time off. I haven't had vacation in like 2 years. So you know, if some of them you just have to do what you gotta do.
But how come you're on vacation, Troy? You're on vacation and you're still talking to me? That on vacation?
Well, If you're a professional in a certain area, you have to exercise your authority. And I'm very happy to be on the station once more. It's a topic that for me, it was self-grown in Grenada. Even if I came from the training, I self-grew in the composting sector in Grenada to see where we are today.
Okay.
And today we'll be talking about composting, so I really appreciate the opportunity.
Well, it was you have to say thank you to Miss Booker, because she's the one who continues to book these events and these occasions. So we have to say thanks to her. And as you say, we're supposed to be talking composting today. Now, what is composting, Troy?
Well, Andrew, for those who do not know, composting is Earth's natural way of recycling organic matter, leaves, twigs, branches, and other things that is compostable, or basically can be broken down and become nutrients for plants. So, in a farm, in a industry that use agriculture produce, all of that material can be composted and in a safe way, in a healthy way that would not be a nuisance or would not be of a hazard to other persons.
So now we understand what is composting. When is composting done?
Composting is done every day.
Mm-hmm.
Composting is done naturally. From you actually cutting your yard and putting all the grass, the clippings in a heap, in a pile, and you leave it there. You come back 1 month and see it's very low. It's no longer grass, but it's dried, or it's basically rotting, or it's decomposing, or you find earthworms feeding on it, or you find it becoming like a lot of fungus around it. And after a while, it kind of melts off. It goes back into the soil. You know, and a lot of roots from plants would be around that. Basically, it's feeding. So it's actually a lot of activities that are taking place in that environment, which if you able to master it and able to do it well, it can be turned into a business.
So, in essence, Troy, now that you've answered the when is composting done, I get the impression. I was going to ask you, where can we do it? And I'm getting the impression that we could do composting anyway. Is that correct?
Okay, depending on the material that you're composting, you can do it in your backyard. Other materials might need other intervention. You might have to use either a shredder to break down larger materials. Depending on the volume that you're building, you might need a wider space. You know, and then you have to look at the ambience, who is around you, and how it's going to affect other persons. Because if you're not too compost savvy, you can build a compost and it can create a smell that the neighbors will not like. You know, but you can build a compost very easy, very simple. You get grass clippings, you get pin manure, kitchen scrap, look like the banana waste, all the different things that you peel from your kitchen, not meat and not other things that you don't want animals to go and dig up your compost. You can have compost done in a very simple way, and it can benefit your garden, your vegetables, your herbs, your different things, and it's something that we want to encourage everyone to do.
Right. You spoke of composting giving off a scent that can be a bother to, well, yourself and of course your neighbors. What would cause that?
First of all, there is what you call a carbon to nitrogen ratio in composting. Carbons are the brown, the dry stuff. The nitrogen is the greener stuff, the wet stuff. So if you have imbalanced carbon to nitrogen ratio, your compost can be either smelly, which means that's giving out of ammonia. When you pass by a chicken pen, someone's chicken pen, and the litter got wet, and that offensive smell, the breeze blow and it hits you, that's nitrogen. That's in a form of ammonia, right? But if your compost is too dry, there's a lot of little things, technical things that farmers and persons who want to do compost must know and understand about it.
Troy, you spoke of sale in relation to persons can make money from selling compost, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Now, composting, as you spoke of earlier on, has to do with the breaking down of matter into what can be integrated into soil, correct?
Yes.
So, when we look at perseverance, if we were to separate a garbage at that point, if there is some sort of a separation, or even if persons are encouraged to separate it from the pickup site, from home, people are encouraged to separate it. Does that mean that we can have one of the biggest composting sites in Grenada, and then that can be used to make some sort of a cash?
Well, Andre, at one point I thought that was one of the mandates or one of the things that Grenada Solid Waste was focusing on. They have a very large shredder that can be pulled behind of a truck, and it can shred all the materials into the truck. So basically, you go around the area where these piles of materials are, and you can shred it. So you decrease the volume of material that is coming in bulk. You have material that is ready to break down. You find a lot of grass that is been cut along the side of the road, especially when they do travel. It is not the best grass to use because it picks up a lot of carbon monoxide, which you do not want in your compost. Right? All of the trees and all of the grass types that are along the road, especially on the main road, has a lot of carbon monoxide from the fumes from the vehicles, etc. that's coming in. You don't want to avoid that, but you can use other grass type to actually make compost. The thing is that besides just the grass comes in, you'll find a lot of material that you do not want as it is. But as you said, if solid waste can properly structure themselves, you see in loads, there's one of those bins, the open bins that they hoist onto the truck, and I'm seeing a lot of material comes in and it's wasted. You find a lot of pallets going up. These things can be shredded and turned back into coconut. Look at the amount of coconut waste from the water, etc., the clusters and all of that, the coconut shell. These can turn into koi. Koi is now the thing to go for doing seedlings. You take and a matter of fact, when you're shredding coconut, you have to be wet. So even if you have the dry coconut shell, the outer part, the skin, that has to be soaked, and it can be shredded and turned into koi. But a lot of money has been wasted and thrown into perseverance every day. Yes, we realize what needs to be done. I think there's a project that's going on stream and what should be done, but when is it going to start? You go to some other countries and you're seeing a red bin, a green bin, a blue bin, and a black bin. So you can put recyclable materials in one. These things need to be implemented and be taught within Grenada. I'm not even seeing, not even within the ministry or the government facilities, that process is taking place. All of the paper that is shredded and wasted, that can become composted, and that has a very big market. Yesterday we had a Zoom meeting with the Canadian composting, and composting is a big thing over there. But again, we're still learning.
One of the things that I picked up you saying here, Troy, is that there needs to be a certain level of education in relation to this, and
definitely
that I believe has to be picked up heavily by solid waste. They would really have to go on a serious education campaign, so as to get people to use the green bin, the orange bin, the black bin, the whatever bin, to use those bins for the different articles to be put in, correct?
Yes, Andrew. And mind you, they have a bin system that they brought in and selling to farmers. But I've not seen a demo. So I just gonna buy a bin and I start dumping material. Look, Andrew, when you build in a compost pile or compost heap, the windrow type that we normally do, you don't just take material and dump on one side and you dump on the other side and you try to move from the bottom, When you do that, depending on the material, if it's high in nitrogen, it breaks down fast. And the other side might not break down. So you have to equally distribute that material in your compost pile and make sure you have a height of like 3 feet so that you have an internal temperature built up. And that's important because there are 3 types of organisms that work within a compost to break down the cellulose. So you have those at regular room temperature, outside temperature, those that are higher, but there's one that goes as high as 70. Have you ever seen a compost pile catch on fire?
Yeah,
It can happen.
Perseverance.
It can. Well, that one.
I'm not lying, am I?
That's true. That is very true. But
true.
a regular compost that is in, for example, you have a compost pile that is about 6 feet high and is very wide. It can just catch on fire like that because the temperature can be very hot. Above 70 degrees, you want your compost to be not above that. So normally, what you have to do, you have to either you turn your compost or you wet your compost. While wetting, you aerate your compost, it breaks down faster, right? I've taught basically all the extension officers and farmers from Belmont Estate goes down to St. Andrews, St. David's, St. George's how to compost. Even Diamond Chocolate Factory that has been selling compost with seaweed and stuff like that, and we've seen the benefits. We've seen the tremendous outpouring of people that want it, and it has results. Yeah.
You mean the seaweed that's coming up on the shows right now, the sargassum?
Definitely. But you're saying, we shouldn't use this. This has heavy metals. Oh, marijuana do good. No, marijuana is just good. I mean. The thing is just as good as anything else. I've tried it in watermelons, normally just the seaweed and the metal for the watermelon. I got 34-pound fruit and 26 pounds and a regular 25-pound watermelon. Right? I mean, when I was in China, I had a professor that had a project that he was using seaweed to make fertilizer. Right? It has its benefit. Yes, we're saying it has high amount of heavy metals, but we cannot tell if it's 1 or 2 or 3% of the metal. It's just said it has heavy metal. There is a profit to make from seaweed. We all know that. But the fact is that we cannot tell you what quantity is there, what needs to be done, what needs to remove it. And we're saying don't use it, just as they did to marijuana. Marijuana is X, Y, and Z, but you find everybody making in money now.
All right, let me just say this to you. This same seaweed you're talking about, the sargassum seaweed, I think Antigua Barbuda has a contract. I wonder if it is with Finland to export their seaweed to Finland, and Finland is going to use it to make a number of different things, and that is like a pilot project because the thing is, at the end of the day, I think the Finnish people are going to set up that said factory. I believe it's in Antigua Barbuda. Set up that factory so as to be able to use the seaweed from all the other islands to produce whatever they're going to produce. So that I believe is coming. But as you said, Troy, and we're guilty of that. We always say in the beginning the thing is always good, and then afterwards somebody will do so and read something on social media and then start to spread the word that this thing ain't good at all, don't use this thing is the worst thing that ever happened, and then we realize we get left.
Yeah. Andrew, let me just say a few things about this sargassum. Yes, it comes in, there's only one beach, a few beaches in Grenada that it creates a problem. And that has to be with the way the beach is shaped plus the influx of the tide and additional water from land base that creates anaerobic respiration, and you find hydrogen sulfide being evaporated, etc., etc., and that is Subies, right? The Marquee area, Subies area, that rock is there. It's a kind of enclosed area. You have a direct 90 degrees of the tide coming in. The water cannot displace. If you go to Hope Beach, it's totally different, and many of the other beaches. You go to Sotes, you don't get the smell or the scent. Now, seaweed has benefit of that one. It helps plants to resist stress. It makes the cell wall of the plant thicker. It helps the plant to resist pests and diseases. It has macro and micronutrients. So a person who is not interested in using fertilizer NPK, the granular fertilizer, you can take this seaweed and mix it pen manure and use it as a fertilizer, natural fertilizer. Now back to your composting. Composting, at the top layer of the soil, there is a very little area there that continues, where life continues to happen. You find the earthworms, you find beneficial organisms, etc., breaking down the leaf layers and stuff like that to convert it back into nutrients for the plant. Now, once you don't have that layer, once you don't have the topsoil, or once you don't have material constantly being put in that area, you find that soil start to become depleted. You find the earthworms, you find the insects, the fungal and bacterial beneficial, all of these organisms being depleted, which makes your soil become one, acidic, become two, resistant to, prone to erosion. You find that area there, after a while you have either slip erosion, splash erosion, and you find that the soil cannot retain much more water. Compost is like a sponge. Once you finish your compost, actually compost can be done in 3 months. Once your compost is finished and it goes back into the soil, you find the roots of the soil is like it's liking that area. So you find a lot of roots, you find a lot of organisms, you find a lot of life, biotic life taking place. And once you have that, the soil can be aerated by the earthworms and other insects. That's going to create a biotic life that is beneficial to your soil.
Let me
without compost.
Go ahead.
Without compost, you have a total opposite. Yes, so farmers who you find only giving the soil fertilizer, natural fertilizer, like the bags of fertilizer, they have very few earthworms in the soil. Your soil become very hard and compact, very easy, and you have to constantly irrigate in your land. After a while, you have to put lime because the land is getting sour. You put in the type of fertilizer you use, it's acidic, and then you find several problems. That is opposite with composting. Composting is what's natural way of recycling nutrients and keeping the soil active.
Troy, can there be a harmony with compost and fertilizer?
Explain that.
Okay, can both be used together on the same plot of land?
There are farmers who use it. It can be used. I'm not telling everybody to go and use it, but there are farmers who understands that your fertilizer is a fast release. Yeah, they are slow release fertilizer, but your compost will take a longer time. Even if you apply it, it will take a longer time to complete. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there are nutrients that, okay, whatever you put into compost, that's what you get out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you might want to add some, for example, you want to add some muriate of potash. You might use either ashes or you might use the muriate of potash. Yeah? You might want to use, because you can get nitrogen from your compost, you can get phosphorus from your compost, right? Pig manure, etc. Now, depend on the material you put in your compost, you will have at the end that material coming out.
Mm-hmm.
If you use chicken manure in your compost, it's high in ammonia. If you use pig manure, it's high in phosphorus. And by the way, pig manure is one of the hottest manures to use And you have to be careful because the cyst from the worms in pigs, it can be a problem for you because the life cycle of the worms from pigs can go through human. Yeah. So you have all these thick worms and all these long worms in your body.
Can you kill the worms before you apply that to your compost or to your land?
Your compost should be nothing under 65 degrees.
No, but can you kill it? Can you kill those worms?
It's in the feces. It's in the feces. It's in the feces. So if you're using it, make sure your compost is very hot.
Okay.
And you want to avoid things like the fungus getting on you from that. So depending on what material you use, you have to be a bit cautious. But back to you, as you're saying, that farmers, they want to use pen manure or compost and fertilizer.
Mm-hmm.
They can both work. There are those, especially those who do watermelons and other peppers and those things. What they normally do is that put the compost in the hole, so the plant have a quick start. Yeah, it look robust, it gets strong, and the plant start maybe almost to flower or producing. You find persons applying NPK. Now, for those who don't use it, which is the fertilizer, I'm talking about those naturalists and the Rastafarian community, they can continuously add in compost or pen manure, preferably that is broken down. Those who are certified, like Belmont Estate that we worked with to help them to build compost, they have to ensure that the compost is turned properly. You record the temperature, you record what amount of material you put in, so that when the certifiers come to test or to review what you have done, you don't have a failed grade. So there is a company called Ceres that's based in, I think, Germany, that has been monitoring the compost from Belmont Estate, and I'm happy and I'm proud to be part of that from the beginning stages, where we show them how to build it. They made some adjustments at the later stage, but they're utilizing all of the material local. So even the cocoa shell from the willowing of the cocoa, I think that's what you use. After you roast the cocoa, you remove that outer shell. That material also is used as part of the ingredients in composting. So composting is a natural way. You can say it's organic. Some persons may not have the ability to certify it organic. There is a young lady that is also from St. Patrick's area who is doing composting, and she's selling it. It's Brenda's Compost.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it in several outlets, and I've been working with her. She knows what to do now. So basically, we're looking into getting the instruments, getting the things that she needs to make herself a bit more tech savvy. So you know that you have those long probes that are 3 feet deep that you can put in your compost and have a proper reading, and not the top of your compost is hot and the middle or the bottom of your compost is cold or is too wet. So in going forward, we teach persons how to do it. I mean, once you want to start a business and you have your materials at a constant supply, we can tell you what to do, we can show you what to do, we can, there are a lot of projects outside and a lot of things that provide assistance, provide funding. I mean, some of them is a waste of time, but there are things that, especially technical advice, that we can provide and we can give to them. I mean, I'm willing and I'm ready to provide that. Yeah.
Someone is saying here on social media, Troy, why is it that we're recommending seaweed as being good for plants, considering that it has, and that's what the person is saying, considering that it has so much salt?
Well, I don't go to the seawater and pick up the wet, salty seaweed. Yeah, remember, even sodium chloride is from the salt of the sea. Sodium is part of the nutrient intake of plants. You don't oversaturate your compost with seawater. You don't put too much seaweed in your compost, but you moderately put a small. That's why I said there's a ratio. So you put 6 barrels of material A, you put 1 barrel of seaweed, and you go to the second layer, because I do my composting in layers. The reason for that being, when your compost builds up a temperature, you want the entire batch of compost to build up a temperature, not the top end or the middle and the other side, or it's one end is dry and one end is wet. So the technical know-how, we have done it, we have seen it. I've done it more than 15 times in Grenada on different farms, and that's over a 3 months period, and even in the Commonwealth of Dominica, with excellent results. So it's not a fly by night, tell you do thing, and I don't know what needs to be done. Once I know I am teaching someone how to make compost, I come if we turn in every other week, I'm there. I show, I teach, I turn myself. So
Troy, where's the biggest compost heap in Grenada?
The biggest compost heap in Grenada, besides Perseverance, we have Belmont Estate.
Yes.
Belmont Estate is repetitively, that's the only source of plant nutrients, fertilizer. They don't use the raw pen manure from the good dairy. They compost all the material, all the leaves and stuff like that. Those material, it's composted, and they take the temperature every 2 weeks. They build a batch or they turn a batch of compost. So it's a regular process that has been there for like maybe the past 6 years, if I can, maybe over 6 years or maybe 5 years. So it's a process that's been continuous, and every year that series come in, it has never had a fail grade. Not even when they were making the compost with the seed.
My friend JD, who is here with me, has a question for you. JD?
Yeah, more than one question. Morning, Troy.
Morning.
How can I get into contact with Brenda's compost, and whether she has?
Brenda, she works at the Diamond Chocolate Factory. I have a contact for her.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can.
Troy, you want to send it to me and give it to him? Give it to him, because you have my contact.
Okay.
Because
I will.
Because it is her personal contact. I'm not too sure she would want her personal contact to go out in a public forum like this. Do you understand? I don't know if that number is for her business.
I just did that, Andrew, to your relay fair.
I got you. I see it already. I'll give it to him.
Okay.
Troy.
Yes, sir.
So can I say that composting feeds the soil and artificial fertilizer feed the plants directly, in a way?
You make every sense, because a healthy soil gives you a healthy plant. Yeah, as I said earlier, the person who is using fertilizer, granular fertilizer from the bags, after a while your soil becomes compact, your soil becomes eroded, your soil becomes acid. Whilst your plant is getting, your yield is great, the soil become poor. Your organic matter in the soil, your earthworms, etc., they move away because they're not getting any food. But once you put compost, once you put organic matter, your soil is being built up. And if you have a built up of good soil, you have a continuous reserve of those macro and trace elements within your soil.
Because I always see that using artificial manure is like a man taking Viagra.
Lord have mercy.
Quick fix, and if you fix your body, if a man fixes his body well with nutrients, he's good.
They try to fix Perseverance and you don't fix, and that is not. They take it Viagra, they too.
Troy, can you add sawdust to composting?
You can add sawdust, right? Mm-hmm. But remember, sawdust is high lignin, and we spoke about a ratio earlier. If the sawdust is fresh, what you notice is that the sawdust is not picking up any nutrients, right? It's not picking up any water, moisture. It must start to break down first, right? And once you have, not just the sawdust, once you have a material like that, it could be shredded material also. Once it starts breaking down, once you start picking up moisture, you pick it up and you find it's damp, it's wet, it's dripping off moisture. Once you squeeze it, you can use the material. But the thing is, sawdust, because of its nature, its high lignin content, you have to add things like pen manure, or better you put the sawdust in pen manure.
What is
One
lignin?
thing I saw in
What is lignin?
Something I saw in lignin is the cellulose from the plant.
Okay.
The cellulose fibers.
Okay.
It's high, it's tough. It's tougher to break down.
Oh,
the thing is that you need the thermophilic bacteria and fungus to break down this material. And it's until your compost is like maybe a month or 3 weeks you get that, because it takes a while to break down. The thing is that I was doing a compost in Karaku, and we went to collect some chicken manure. I was not expecting to see the farmer using seaweed as his litter. But you know what that did? It stimulated an idea, because the salt from the nature of the seaweed, it would prevent certain organisms living within the litter. Additionally, the seaweed, because of its nutrition content, plus the high ammonia content of the chicken manure, you have a fertilizer that the person could have sold. So a lot of persons, even in Grenada, you cannot find that material from the shredded material from the wood. You can't find sawdust. They can use dry seaweed.
So what you're saying here, Troy, what you're saying here is that the same Sargassum seaweed that is on our shores, the people who are into poultry, they can use that as the litter in their pens and do not necessarily have the dried one. They dry it off and use it as a litter, and they do not have a problem. As a matter of fact, it ends up being a plus.
Exactly, because it would remain there after the chicken. After you get rid of your batch of chicken, that would be actually in a kind of sandy condition, and that's a plus. Again, when you cook with it, you cook with like sand. I mean, you have that as a manure that can be sold. I went to China and I'm seeing the Chinese selling just pure chicken manure.
Here's another question. Here's another question from social media. One Keith Sylvan. Good morning to you, Keith Sylvan. How are you doing? And he said, now that we have been told that seaweed is good for our plants, why don't we have anyone producing it as a business, considering we have so much available at this particular point in time?
There are persons that are using it on their farm. You go to Paul's, you go to Simone, you go to areas. Those guys on Paul's, they strip, that's what they use. So maybe he needs to drive around to some of those farmers.
No, but he's suggesting somebody to do it as a business, Troy. Like packaging it?
It's a business, but it's not selling just the raw seaweed. You see, you don't just want to sell seaweed. You want to sell the seaweed as an additional product to your compost or to your pen manure.
So not just sell it like that, but add value to it. Add value to it.
Add value to it. So you know that you're not buying just seaweed. You're buying your chicken manure, you're buying your cattle manure, you're buying your goat manure, your sheep manure, but it is full of seaweed. So by the time you put a seed in the hole, it becomes a mother plant. Yeah.
Here's this question for you, Troy. Why is it so very important for us to really and truly consider composting as not just an alternative, but the way to go? Why is it so important? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. It is the way to go, because I'm thinking. I'm so much things flooding my mind here right now. It is the way to go because it's a healthy method of producing food. You eat whatever you put in your body is what your body is going to respond to. And because compost is a natural process, it is a healthy and beneficial process. Your plants, for example, you have a crop of tomatoes that you use compost or pen manure. Your tomatoes would remain on the shelf for like almost 1 month, whilst the farmer who is growing tomatoes using fertilizer, within a week, you see the tomato is going down, start to get into rot, which means that your plant has a longer shelf life, one, when you use compost or natural fertilizer, organic matter. Two, you have a sweeter crop. Your fruits or your vegetables will be much sweeter. Three, you can do it yourself. It's there, it's readily available with the information and the technology that can do it. And four, why not? It's cheaper. It might be a little bit costly at the end, but it is a cheaper way of getting things done that would make you and will empower you. And of course, you don't know what you're eating. You go and buy those lovely big food that you find at real value at Foodland, and you don't know the chemicals that is pumped into it just to get it to where it is, and it's no blemish, no spots. But when you have a fruit that is naturally grown, it is sweeter. Because of the cell walls of the plant, you get a different color of the fruit, a sweet fruit, and a fruit that is that you can appreciate. Farmers, we all can do it, because the thing is that it can be done in your home. You get 4 pallets or 3 pallets from the port, and you cut your clippings, you put it there, you put your pen manure in there, and you build a compost pile.
What happens if you don't have pen manure?
If you don't have pen manure, you can use grass clippings, you can use your kitchen waste, you can use other materials. But the pen manure is just the organism that breaks down the compost.
Okay.
Its high amount of that is in the pen. The material breaking down the compost is high. It's very high within the pen manure, especially the sheep, the goat, those other animal manure.
Yeah. Okay.
So it helps break down the material very fast. So sometimes you turn in compost and you find it has this kind of a white thing on it. The white kind of fungus on some of the leaves. For example, you turn in the grass that you cut a couple of weeks ago, and you find the grass looking white. This is what breaks down your material very fast. So what the perseverance is not breaking down properly, that is what you want to create. That environment of that white looking material between your grass, full of fungus. That is what thermophilic gets you 70 degrees high and ignite your compost. You want to use that organism here to break down all your lignin and stuff like that, and you can have a good compost. But as I said, it's easy, it's simple. You put your materials here. After a while, you could just remove it, and smells very earthy. You can use it with your flowers, you can use your fruits, you can use your herbs, your seasoning, and it really, really works. So we encourage persons to do that. Start composting, start utilizing your materials to create your own fertilizer, and not naturally going and pick up the bags of fertilizer, because what is in the compost is almost the same as what's in the bag of fertilizer.
Troy, and I just want to add what you say, the benefits of composting. That is, it's so important as to the finished product, the taste of the finished vegetable or fruit, and then finally, towards the benefit of the compost to the soil. When you use compost in your soil, probably your great grandchildren would have land to work, fertile land to work. But when you use the artificial fertilizer, you're depleting that soil so bad that you have to continue adding the same thing over and over again. Whereas if you're doing composting, you have a well balanced side. For me, I believe in feeding the soil than feeding the plants. Thank you.
Yeah, a very good point. Very good point. So you want to ensure that your soil remains, you keep your top layer of soil, and to do that, you don't use all of this heavy fertilizer, chemical fertilizer that would make your soil acid. Once your soil becomes acid, the type of grass changes within that land, type of trees changes within that land, because certain plants cannot survive in an acidic environment. Yeah, our regular pH is between 5.5 to 7.5. If you girls beyond that, you will have a serious problem. And sometimes just to amend that soil, it takes a lot more money to amend it than just to buy a bag of the fertilizer, etc.
Troy, I believe that we'll have to, I know we have to end now because it has already gone past 9 o'clock. I know that we have a lot more to say in relation to composting. And I do believe that the Ministry of Agriculture has a lot to do. And then I keep saying that you guys do not use, for instance, the media enough. And when I say the media here, I'm speaking Real FM because I know that what we offer in relation to offering things to agriculture in Grenada, to our farmers in Grenada, and things like composting, while you go off and you help farmers, I believe that maybe once a month, twice a month, Mina can work something out with you and you can do a short bit with her, and we can have that regularly put into our agricultural program on Thursdays, and that will serve as an information spot for our farmers. There's so much we can do. As a matter of fact, Troy, you're the expert on root crops. You're the expert on coconuts. We need to have more conversations with people like you. I can't afford to coming here once in a blue moon. That's not going to work for us. If you do that, then we would have another perseverance.
Well, Andre, I think you should recommend that to the authorities above me so that we can actually do something that farmers can benefit from. Because I remember a couple of years ago, I had an activity, it was beyond the headlines. Yeah? Mm-hmm. And we look at the seaweed and stuff. It was well received. And after that, you didn't hear nothing.
Don't worry, Troy. You with me. We'll be talking coconuts, we'll be talking root crops, and we definitely will be speaking a lot more on composting. Do you know someone by the name of Marsha Walker? Or Marisa?
Not to my knowledge.
Marisa Walker.
No.
Marisa Walker says good morning. So already you're creating an impact. You see that? Good for you, boy.
Okay.
I hope your wife's not listening.
I
know. I hope she's not listening. Anyway, my brother, thank you so very much for this morning, Troy. We will join again on another day, on another Thursday, whatever. But we will continue giving information to the farmers, right?
Thank you, Andrew.
Okay, take care, sir, brother. One love.
All right.
Good. It's Realist 91.9, 91.5, www.drealfmgrenada.com. You got 30 seconds, bro.
No, well, I already signed off.
You what?
I already signed off.
Wow.
No, but what I think we must do is to maybe have a demonstration of composting St. Patrick's. We'll try and, let's, get something going, on somewhere, a demonstration of composting. Yeah.
A demonstration on composting.
Yeah.
You have land by you there. Why you don't start to organize? Troy will come and help you. Anyway, we got to go. Friends, take care of yourself. Catch you again next week, my brother. Hopefully next week.
Hope, not Marky.
Not Marky. All right, take care of yourself. We've got news. 91.9, 91.5. Stay with us. This is your favorite radio station.
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.